Whenever we enter metro, we can listen to that voice of the lady, you can remember.
ಪ್ರಯಾಣಿಕರೇ ಗಮನಿಸಿ, ಮುಂದಿನ ನಿಲ್ದಾಣ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಮಹಾನಗರ.
She is no more. Vision is all about India, the peaceful parenting capital of the world. The child's brain is completely developed around 20 to 23 years.
Now,
Are you telling me I'm dumb?
Many parents are losing the bond after the childbirth.
the first approach is to raise your voice.
Why my child is like this? Why my child became like this? So we are the basic culprits first, and she says that I'm not a good parent.
Hi guys, I'm Ishita
And I'm Kanishka.
and welcome to Drop the Filter.
Today with us we have Pooja, and she's a parenting coach. Would you want to talk a little bit about yourself and your journey as to how you started or chose being a parenting coach?
Yes. Firstly, very gratitude. Thank you for having me here. And yes, many of them asks, first question many of them ask, why parenting coach? Are you a parent? Yes, honestly, I am also a parent. I have a 5-year-old child, and it's been 10 years of my wedded life, and I have entered this journey. It's like all the parents doesn't choose everything randomly, so it happens for a reason. And as I was going through a lot of articles recently, I also found this, a soul enters a physical body during the pregnancy through 7 layers. It's not small. So many layers they pass through, and that soul enters not only for one thing, for different things like karmic connection, which is not complete, the past life which is not completed, so they need to finish it. And maybe because of the frequency match, my frequency is matching from that soul, for that soul, so that soul is choosing my womb. And there is other karmic relationships, and a lot of other things also happen. So this happened, and I became a mother, and it was not easy journey for me. Honestly, it was during COVID.
Oh God.
And yes, so anything and everything happens for a reason, only to
Absolutely.
make you very strong and confident in your journey. And it happened for me during that phase. Thank you so much for inviting me again. I'm Puja Bhargav, founder of Peaceful Parenting Hub, and I have my passion in teaching from almost 7 to 8 years by now. Past then I was a certified QMath international trainer.
Wow.
I was training all the overseas kids along with Indian kids. Because of COVID, everything shifted offline to online as well. Before that, I was an IT employee. I was working for Microsoft. Everything I've cycled all the phases of my life
Yeah,
after wedding. So I entered this. Passion was driven to me for mathematics, because I couldn't finish my mathematics classes, extracurricular activities like Vedic maths and abacus, aloha. So many things were there. I was repenting why couldn't I do, because I chose sports. I was in extracurricular activities. I was a Coco player. So then everything shifted. Microsoft, I was enjoying, but still my passion was in this mathematics. I chose it, and I used to conduct like 3 to 4 batches. Kids used to come in the batch, and I was training. I was being trained, screened, everything was done here. I also helped them build US curriculum, so I have designed it, and it was very, very empowering for me. It was very peace at my, the passion which in you,
Yeah.
if you could do that, the happiness inside you actually glows up.
Definitely.
So I was doing it, and one thing I could see there also, the connection between the mother and the child. The child was completely busiest person in the world, because I was not able to reschedule the classes for the child, because mothers were busy in commutation. Pick up here, drop there, to that class, here, there, everywhere. Everywhere they were running behind the child. The mother is doing that much to the child, and no one can see the the behind the scenes of that mother who is doing it.
Absolutely.
Mother is the one who picks up everywhere in every aspect of the child, and we should implement the same thing in the child. The child should see that mama is doing everything for him or her. And I connected with that a lot. Post COVID, online shifted, I could connect with Singapore kids, New Zealand kids, Dubai, a lot of other different areas. In between, God wanted me to test my journey as well. So I was conceived, and I couldn't even know. After 7 weeks, I could see that I was pregnant, and till 5 months, I completed this journey with QMath, and because of nausea and a lot of other stuffs during pregnancy, I couldn't continue. Till now, even there is a call for me to become the math partner again. But during that journey, something shifted in me, that after becoming a parent, everything went very good during COVID. Even though if it was COVID during pregnancy, it was good. But after COVID, God wanted me to learn so much of lessons. I did all the research, started to understand parenting. I want to do something now to become the best mother. Any mother will aim for to become the best mother in the world. So I started researching on all such. So I got through the early education system and all of them. So I did all these after 3 months, because there was no touching all the materials and all of them. So I ordered something. I got into some platform. I ordered. Literally day and night I worked on this thing for my son. And at early years of 1.3 years of age, my son is recognized as a super talented kid by International Book of Records for his remarkable achievement in his vocabulary. Very powerful journey. No mother should go through all the struggles, but we say when we struggle, the empowerment happens inside you. Everything comes out you, and the challenging capacity, you will understand you have all these strength in you. So this is how it started, and my son has become that. But something in me was not satisfied. I'm not doing nothing for myself, because I'm not the person who can just sit. I want to do something greater, because we always keep listening through our mentors. He like, life will die 2 times. So one is the normal death. So the other one is the last time who speaks about you. So we should do so much in life that people want. Even now you are also doing some podcasts, because you can reach people, you can share that knowledge, you can share such wisdom in everyone. So it's really important for us to do so much in life that people remembers us. So we are in Bangalore, and one example just hit me hard. Even now I listen to that. Whenever we enter metro, Nama Metro, so we can listen to that voice of the lady, you can remember. She is no more, and that voice is for lifetime. So we need to do such things, people remembers us. After that, it hit me hard that I want to do something. Then appeared the parenting. So now all these coaching things were westernized. Slowly, because of COVID, things started shifting and rolling towards India.
Absolutely.
And many people took this challenge to become something powerful in all of them. So I entered some parenting seminar, and I started to learn something very grateful. I want to do something, I want to achieve something, I want to be best, everything, everywhere. I started to learn parenting. I became a student. Like, I can show the notes. I used to write it. My husband like, what are you doing here? So what you're writing every day? I've completed like 4 or 5 books attending those sessions. I was a very strict student then. I understood a lot of things there. Whatever I learn, if I teach somebody, it will retain 100% more in your head. So it's, if you just read and if you stop yourself, nothing will stay with us. So we just need to deliver it back a lot of things every time. In between, after I started learning, it was October 2022 I started. So April 2023 it shifted. We all, the friends in our groups, we started explaining it to each other, sharing it to each other. The passion in me was always teaching, right? So I used to lead everywhere, and I started all these things, and coaching comes in between the journey. That's how parenting coaching started. and my vision and mission became very, very powerful. Then I want to reach. My vision is all about India, the parenting capital of peaceful parenting capital of the world, because my hub is all about peaceful parenting hub, and I always get inspired through our mentors and the coaches. So there are a lot of people, entrepreneurs, who keep telling about like making India the training capital of the world, health capital of the world, so much like. So I really want to make India peaceful parenting capital of the world. Every parents need to empower the child to raise confident and strong kids. Peaceful parenting banayenge India. I want to reach out to Indians. First it starts with Karnataka. I have my Kannada page also. I started reaching, and the reach is very, very good. The connection between our own language is even more very good. People response is very nice, and I started doing it, and this has become very good journey. Then I started about my webinars, workshops, everything, and now I'm here today.
That's really inspiring to hear, first of all, and we are really glad to have you over here.
Thank you so much.
So when you're talking about parenting, so what are the few things that you do different that your parents did?
So it's like, I can just tell like there is no good parenting or bad parenting. Every mother or a father, every parent are involved in raising their child, confidently, in a good way, right? So in a normal kind way. So I'm spiritually aligned, more spiritually aligned. So the things which we do every day, the child will actually see and learn it. So they have the mirror neurons here in the brain. So whatever we do, whatever we talk, the child actually immediately grasp it. So that is the reason like many parents keep talking about, a lot of tantrums are there. I'm not able to handle this meltdowns, and why this is actually happening, because how we respond to that immediate, that particular problem actually matters a lot. So how I'm dealing it with it. So there are two sectors in the brain. So one is the prefrontal cortex, and then another one is the amygdala. So it works in that way. So this is the thinking capacity. It's all. This is about the thinking. This is all about the logic, right? So the child needs to understand. If the child needs to understand, we also need to settle with that calmness with them first. So what is actually a tantrum? So the child is asking for something, and we are not able to give it. The input, the output, it's not matching. It's completely opposite, and completely child is opposing it, and it's an underlying belief system that I want to be first, I want to do everything, and the child is not ready to agree. So everything starts, struggle starts here. So the child has to understand here. Before the child is understanding, we need to understand how we need to settle our calmness. So this thinking part goes off. So child will not be able to understand. So first question for you also is, how old or how long does your brain takes to be completely formed? How many years it takes? Just a wild guess. There's no problem.
Isn't it made in the? Isn't the brain made in the, like the womb?
It starts there, but it formed like fully formed.
Completely developed. By which age group?
I think by 2 or 3, if I'm not wrong.
The child's brain is completely developed around 20 to 23 years.
Now,
Are you telling me I'm dumb?
now,
No. Yes, we keep saying it, and every one of us wants to understand, because child is still learning, and how can we expect a lot of answers and maturity from the child brain which is not completely developed, right? So we also need to understand. So co-regulation happens when we stay calm and the child is learning from us. So it's all about how I perform my activities from morning, day to the night. So I follow certain rituals at home, and many of us ask like, my son is also not on the toes. He's on the heels all the time, and he's a boy basically, and they will have a lot of energies more than the girls. But nowadays even they like, there's no boy or there's no gender. So everyone are high on toes, and to manage their energies, we should manage our frequencies with them. So we should give that, sitting tolerance is very low. We should understand what kinds of activities we can make them sit and do those. And a lot of things happens, they look and learn. Mirror neurons are very highly active, and we need to make them sit and learn for some time. And it's all about touch, feel, everything. And many challenges also comes here, all about my child is not sitting, so let me give me the screen.
Oh God.
Lot of challenges up, comes to the parents, especially working women, working parents. If both the parents are working, lot of screen times are happening. Why? Even the parent, many of the time we keep saying that, don't give the screens too much. We say, according to American Academy of Child and Adolescent Pediatric, so there is a certain guidelines we need to follow. So what age group, how much of screens we should show. If if the screen is excess, the child's brain completely stops developing. Can you understand what exactly it is? Early times we can say we also used to watch TVs, and why not now? The people, the shows which the kids creators shows who are developing, they themselves says in the articles that we are not showing our series or the shows to our kids. Why? Because it's overstimulating.
Yeah, actually, I heard this like the Apple's founder doesn't give the phone to their own kids like till a certain age.
Yeah, I should not mention the show's name, but still, it's a popular series all the time. Like now, Coco Melon, Choo Choo TV, and it's like they're doing blunders. The show itself is created because they're getting the TRPs done. They're reaching very high, and I was like, literally, I just want to give the incident. I went to Mysore, and some hotel, the child, it's very small toddler, in can say, the mother is actually stimulating the child to drink the milk through that cocoa melon voice. The voice, when the mama is playing on a high speed and the louder noise, the child is actually responding and is listening to it, and he is drinking it. I was like, what blunder is happening? Why are they not understanding this is literally affecting the child's development?
Plus, won't it make the child more tantrum? Like,
Exactly.
because he won't drink the milk until the cocoa melon.
It is the brain actually understands that completely. It's designed to overstimulation, and it's all about the fast pacing and the normal life, real touch, sense, feel, voice. Child will not listen to you. Slow. We are slow. I mean, comparatively to the TV shows and us, of course, the child lose interest in our slow-paced real life world, and they get addicted to this, and the dopamine effect actually increases. So I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more.
I think in Indian households there are a lot of expectations from kids and parents. Did you feel that issue or did you feel the pressure?
And I'm just gonna add, so do you think the pressure is only on the women? While
Yeah, because I think I noticed when you were only talking about women, but parenting is a both way thing, right?
Yes. Why I was talking about women, because women are more highly engaged in the child's growth. And as you also said, in India, it's all about like pressure. Yes, definitely. I would say, parenting is all about, equally balanced. It's not like completely equally we should, divide our work. But of course, the interaction between the partners actually has to be on a higher way, that the women, when she actually enters that new journey, she'll also able to regulate her body. But here what's happening, it's a missing piece. The partner is also busy in their own business, the partner is also busy in their office work, and he goes to office, he comes back and he is completely tired, and he has himself doesn't have any kind of self-care activity, and he loses his balance and he wants a bad sleep or a rest, he goes back. And women here is completely losing here, and the struggle between both. Of course, there are a lot of cases also. Many parents are losing the bond after the childbirth, because there is no proper sync or the coordination which is happening after the parenting actually starts. Literally, I would say this is very beautiful, peaceful journey when we are raising a beautiful soul. We should just give the nurturing environment. If you're not able to manage, hire some help. Please delegate some task. Do it. It's for us. It's for everyone. And the child is actually learning through us. So if we are on a fight, what is child learning? Child can understand, we can fight also, we can shout also. If something I'm not able to handle, I can just do whatever I want.
Do you think in India, elders' opinions interfere a lot with your parenting now?
Yes, this is one question which keeps coming in from every mouth. And didn't I raise my child? And you are not the alone or women, you are raising your child. Yes, we have been raised by our parents. I agree, but they didn't raise our children. This is not the generation, this Gen Alpha, and those are different generations. And this generation is completely changed. And the way we look at each other, the way they look at their parenting style from us is totally different. And everyone also agrees to it, right? So they also know, but sometimes they keep coming in to give you advices. But yes, listen to the advice which is necessary, just hold it and leave it. It doesn't mean that you just need to sit and argue with it, right? So take the advice which is valuable, consume it, implement it which is required, and then stop it.
Also adding to that, so in like Indian households, the way that before it was like you need to keep your children strict, and that discipline usually comes out to be very strict, and you see the kids or maybe people now, they're more like reserved to themselves, and that's how it's all passed on. So do you have that method, or if you don't, do you think like people that see this method or maybe a different method of your when it comes to discipline, do you think people say अरे ये तो बिगाड़ रही है बच्चे को, something like that?
So yes, this is also one more point. Earlier, there used to be a village of people to manage one child or two child at a home. Now everything is like nuclear setup. And one person, another person, we are done. No more space at the home. And if somebody enters also, like emotions also varies.
Yeah.
And the child is also not able to pick up. And if we say, like mama used to feed the child, and the discipline was there, when somebody is entering, the child is actually bigad raha. You said no, like the child is not listening. When we say that sentence, he was eating peacefully, and when somebody came, and the meaning for them is totally different. They are understanding it differently. So it's not about that. So yes, village of emotions are also involved previously, but now when somebody is speaking, mother is speaking something, the parents or elders need to support what they're speaking. It's not like we are opposing them when we are actually speaking to it, right? So discipline, yes, regarding discipline, when it comes to discipline, the firmness has to be there in anything. Earlier also it used to be there, now also. Nothing changes in parenting. But the style, how we look at it, how we raise our kids, how we actually put them in the sessions, classes are totally different from now. Lot of Montessori system came in, lot of different UK based, US based, lot of different curriculums are being here. For example, for myself, I can put it here. Just to change one school for my son, I literally, went to 13 to 15 schools inquiring what kind of curriculum I can put my son into. It's like earlier we used to have only one school. We used to go to only one school.
Yeah.
Now it's about how many schools you need to enter to put in your child into right environment. There are schools. I don't tell there are no schools. There are thousands of schools.
Yeah.
But which schools nourishes your child, which is your vibe, which matches your frequency and your child, matters most.
Yeah, actually it's very important nowadays to get like a good school, because I think kids nowadays are struggling in school, and they often do not tell it to the parents if they they don't have that understanding or the frequency you're talking about. So I think I don't relate because I don't have a kid, but like I understand.
Yeah. I think one more question, you spoke about firmness and everything. Now a scenario where, for example, your child using a phone, you don't want him or her to use it at that point. In Indian households, the first approach is to raise your voice. And I'm making a very generalized statement, but that's how it is. Maximum of the time. But I think now I don't have a child either, but I have a younger brother who is like a child to me. When I'm yelling, I don't mean to yell. I'm not yelling. I'm just saying like keep your phone away. It's it's overtime used. And but in my head I'm thinking, but this is exactly how my parents or my grandparents would have done it. And I don't want to do that. So what would be the alternative approach to explain that this is not a good thing?
So yes, of course you said I don't want it to yell. I don't want it to mean that way what I did actually. So yes, the approach here is we need to set the rules and the boundaries. There are two factors. The parenting actually, different styles of parenting comes here. So based on the two factors, one is the parental warmth. Warmth is all about how responsiveness we are, how soft we are, how engaging we are with the child, and warmness with them. So the next one is the parental control. How much we are enforcing rules all the time, how many boundaries we are putting here, controlling everywhere. So this is the two factors which styles of the parent depends on. So the first, based on that, the four parenting styles is the first one is the authoritarian parenting. So authoritarian parenting is all about controlling nature is very high and the next warmth is very low here. So authoritarian parenting, you just are on the demand every time, you're just controlling. And the next one is the authoritative. Authoritative is both are balanced. Warmth is also there. You're actually loving, caring, consciously you're balancing, and along with that you're controlling. How to put the boundaries, setting rules, imparting everything together. Next is permissive. A lot of Indian parenting we could see, yes, it's also called of yes parenting. Warmness is very high. My child is asking, yellow, he's asking for something, lelo, let me give you this. He's asking that, let me buy that one also for them. So it's all about yes parenting. I only have one child, like as if parents are thinking like everyone is having thousands of kids. Everyone has only one or two nowadays. My only child, I need to pamper, I need to do everything. So it's all about permissive parenting. So very high, no control at all. So the child is controlling them instead. The other one is the uninvolved. So it doesn't come here, but still, categorizing, there are 4 different categories. Which is the best parenting style you could tell me now, based on these 4 styles?
I would say a balance.
So both should be balanced, right? So
Definitely.
authoritative parenting is the best practiced style because we are also putting boundaries, firmness, rules, and also we are showing our love. Like we, of course, everyone has 1 or 2 kids or maximum or 3 or 4. We need to balance everything.
Like we need to teach them what's wrong and right.
When do you think is the
Right age actually.
Not right age, but a good age for showing these to kids, like telling them that this is right, this is wrong. I'm sure there's no right age essay though, but like in more general sense, when do they best grasp such things?
Let me tell you honestly, right from the Garbha Sanskar. When the soul actually enters. I was reading this article also. The soul actually enters all through the layers which I said. 40 to 49 days somewhere the soul actually passes all the layers and actually enters. And then the Garbha Sanskar has to happen. We need to teach and show. Even before the child is out to the world, we need to show, talk, teach everything through those phases also. The 9-month journey, what the mothers or the women is doing nowadays, binge watching, unfiltered conversations. Why do they really require? What do they do watching those, binge watching the Netflix series? Will they help in growth, or it's like they have chosen this journey, they wanted to become the parent, and it's that particular women's justice that they need to give to the child. They need to go through these things. They need to show, talk every day. They need to do some Garbha Sanskar. Don't do completely, don't get into certification process. At least you can give some justice to what you're doing. And we are just blaming the child. Why my child is like this? Why my child became like this? So we are the basic culprits first. If we make them, pamper inside, of course, when they come out, the first day itself, we'll be able to show the black and white series of the card. Even before the child is opening the eye, they'll be showing you black and white card. After that comes in the lot of journey. I have lots, tons and tons of, the cards and the early education systems. I used to do a lot every day. And past 1.5 years, 2 years, my son entered school and they're doing a lot of activities. I don't want to overwhelm because I want to give him the free play. That's when the creativity happens. And my son was like, I usually send him to daycare or free play some every day based on he gets up afternoon after the nap. I didn't cut down his nap in the afternoon because the child literally wants 10 hours of the sleep, good sleep, balanced sleep.
Early age, right?
Yes. So the balanced sleep is required, and I didn't send him. So I was busy somewhere. He had his food. The basic the four attributes the child want to be very, healthy, in a healthy area. It's just all about the food, food, basic shelter, clothing, and the good education. That's it. We are here adding everything to that to make it very complex. And the child, he had his good food. He was on a balanced body, and he started enjoying because he knows that firmness and the rules which is set in the home, it's not only in the public area or the school. He also need to follow certain rules and
Right.
guidelines, right? So okay, let me tell you, like, we will leave our footwear outside, we'll not jump with the footwear on the bed, right? So there's the basic criteria which we follow at home. Certainly the kid also needs to understand this is the things which we need to follow entering the home when we are in the home. The child needs to do it, and he just picked up some game. He did his creativity on his own way. The free play is very much important for them to
Grow their brain.
grow their brain.
You know, when you spoke about controlling parents, I was thinking, they say that the most strict parents raise notorious children.
Yeah, and they lie a lot. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Of course, right? So they're lying. Why? Because my mama or parents, anyone will scold me, will actually shout on me, yell on me. Anybody doesn't like it. If you are shouting on me, why will I like it? If I shout on you, will you like it? No. The child tends to, choose the safe space so that he starts talking not the right things.
But what if this controlling side of the parent is covered by, or, covered by that this is my form of love?
On that 4 styles of parenting, I like to add, which is actually not balancing the parenting styles. There are 2 more parenting styles which I learned is helicopter parenting, which is totally monitoring. So much on control, monitoring in each and every aspect. Like, don't sit here only, don't spill it, bring in that cup, this, that, everything is monitored. And the next one is the snowplow parenting. Here, the parents are like, obstacles are there in the path when they're walking or something, removing the obstacles and making the journeys very easy. Child is walking or running, if they fall down, then they will understand, yes, I got hurt, I should not run fast. So we should also allow them to fail, then they will learn the lesson, then only they will be able to learn.
Yeah, I think I can relate, like, because my father used to teach me a bicycle on those 4 wheels, and and then he converted me suddenly to the 2. So I used to fall eventually. So he's like, jab tak tum giroge nahi, you will never be
never
able
learn.
to balance the whole thing. So yeah, that makes sense.
So how do you, like, if a parent is too controlling and they don't even know that they're controlling?
Too controlling, of course, the environment will not be good. Atmosphere
Have you
also
dealt with
actually.
some parents?
Yes,
And do they come on their own?
Yeah, actually my
Do
point.
they realize that they're controlling?
the senses of a woman also understands, yeah, I'm controlling too much. And when they're controlling too much, the atmosphere is also not good. The bonding between the child and the mother connection is also not right. The family surrounding also will not, allow, or what can I say, they're not supporting her, and she also faces that criticism inside, and she loses her confidence herself, and she loses her self-esteem, and totally overall she collapses, and she says that I'm not a good parent. This happens, eventually she starts feeling that I'm not feeling good, I'm not good, I cannot do anything. everything collapses.
But I think.
But
Hmm.
when it's a nurturing environment, when somebody is supporting her, even though if she's not okay, not to be, we should not expect too perfectionism. Even though she's not balancing too much, she's doing at a certain level. If somebody pulls you and tell you you're very good in doing it, just imagine your confidence which is rising up.
Correct.
Yes, I can do it. I am a very good parent. I can do anything I want. I can learn anything now.
I think even parents at some point victimize themselves, you know, saying ki there are sometimes comments that might come, and I'm like picking up from shows and movies, and I know that they happen in real life, you know, that I've brought you to this world, so you have a little bit towards me as a human, and is this the reason? There are like statements that come out, and what I realize is that sometimes parents don't realize the kind of words they use and how they can affect a child. Because
Definitely.
if, I mean, there's always a counter, right? For example, if a parent is telling the child that I brought you to the world, the child can always counter saying, I didn't ask you to bring me. There's always a count. No, I'm being really serious, but that's always a counter. So there's like authoritative in terms of sh- showing authority to the child that I'm the reason you're here, you know.
So yes.
And I feel like sometimes, and I'm not blaming parents, but I feel like sometimes it gets to a point where there are certain words they don't mean, but they come out, and it takes a big toll on the child.
Child's mental health. Yes, of course, I agree. Controlling doesn't mean that you need to use all the harsh words which is not there in the dictionary and the child is actually grabbing it. It's like, as I said, there are different layers, and when the soul enters, due to these things, karmic connections, and which is not actually completed in the past life, and because mutual growth also, the soul is entering you, your child is also evolving with you, and you are also evolving with you. And the frequency might be matching with you. That is also one thing. And there is one more thing called the child is actually teaching us.
Yeah, I agree.
Or for that also there's a one layer, that child is entering your soul. The child teaches you so that you can actually raise up. So all together with these, what actually women needs to understand is, so the soul is entering us, and the total, the mother, the parenting style and the parenting should become the purposeful here. That we need to give that justice, as I said, and together a whole statement for that women also changes. Why my child is acting like this?
Yeah.
It's not about that. What am I learning from that child? What I should learn, how I can improvise my journey.
Yeah.
Anything and everything comes for us as a lesson.
Definitely.
So also I want to add to this. So this was about the women's journey, about dealing with the own issues that affect a child. Do you also feel like if a husband and wife's relationship is not good, and even if they don't show it to the child, but obviously they all stay in the same family, do you think it affects the child even if the child is not letting you know that it's affecting?
Of course it affects, because child could sense each and everything.
Yeah.
The frequencies we are together, and the child is able to pick it up.
How do you deal with such? Have you ever
For
such
this,
situations?
as you said, first thing is the open communication. We need to talk with the child first. What do you really want? And when you are actually having, the clashes between the partners, if there's a clash between the partners, we need to sit and talk. What can be done to fix this issue? Right?
Yeah, I think because it becomes more of like, there is a responsibility and you do have to take care of the child as well. Like you sometimes, the partners have to stop thinking about themselves, because there's a smaller version of you who is not that much intellectual, that much understanding. So you need to like step back from your own needs.
How much we need to speak in front of the child, how much behind the child, everything matters.
Correct.
And yes, of course, if there is a clash or a trigger, anything happens, please drink water. Settle up first, settle that amygdala. Instead of reacting, respond very neatly.
Yeah.
So just think of what you can respond very wisely in front of your child. When the child is not there in front of you, you can just sit and talk for a with a peaceful moment you can actually create. It's not about, nothing actually goes violated and no world war actually happens within a second. All of that actually happens and it raises, right? The frequency, if it is increasing every time, it actually raises and turns out to be a war. But all of that starts with a small glitch that we need to
Like a
fix it
small
very.
fire.
Yes, the small fire. We need to start, we need to step up what is not proper, what can be done to make it proper. So for that we need to, you said what are the different things you are doing for your child at your home so that you are balancing the environment. So spiritually aligned, as I said, I play a good music, the vibrations which is very high, and it's on a Bluetooth. Of course, since I also said, I also did this blunder of showing the screens and all of them. Now my son also doesn't show interest in the screens. He also doesn't ask, we also doesn't give. So the good music, the spiritual musics on the Bluetooth, they'll be able to grasp it, everything they could hear through brain. And the environment is also very good. And after that, yes, we also use, it's like all the time I'm saying spiritual, am I not watching any other things, or I do, I'm also a human being, I also binge, listen, not watch, listen to a lot of good musics. I was very bad listening musics, but now it all stopped. But we play nowadays, it become a fantasy like of listening lot of good musics. I say first we are listening to the good musics which we want to listen, and then we are going whatever he asks, we are playing there. He also listens to it, he also write, like I keep hearing about his writing is very nice. How did you do that? Nothing happens overnight, so it's all about the consistency and the everyday practice. So everyday practice if we give, then only everything changes. So for that also I said, no, firm rules and the boundaries we need to create. They will understand. Of course, when he is saying my child doesn't eat without screen, I said it's a basic necessity, it's not a luxury. If the child is hungry, definitely he'll come sit and eat. Don't go behind him showing him the screen, and don't violate the child's development. You are doing the wrong thing. Make him sit peacefully eat, because we should not create the reverse aversion with the food. Create the good bonding with the food. Good healthy food gives you a good, healthy body. Practice those, your child also practice. In fact, yesterday I was seeing about the yoga sessions which used to happen and how they're taking the journey together. The session, the question was how the children also learning the yoga with us. The instructor used to say this, I'm just telling the mothers, you do it, you just place one more mat behind you. Next 1 or 2 3 days the child automatically comes, sit, do with you, they will learn with you.
Correct. Yeah. How do you think divorces affect a child? I believe it can be for the betterment also. But how do you think it affects a child?
Yes, it all depends, right? So what kind of differences and the opinions which were there between the parents and the partners, they chose each other, they raised each other, all of a sudden difference of opinions came in. Of course it will mentally affect a lot, but before stepping out, sit together and understand what are you doing to that soul, because you both have decided to give that birth, and why are you affecting that child? Did the child actually ask you to? No. If before you're doing it, think wisely. Anyone has a brain, maturity level. Sit and think, what are you doing? What will it happen? Will you be happy, or I be happy, or my child will be happy?
Yeah, I have a very dark question. So I think a lot of parents who are partners, maybe who are divorced, who don't have a good relationship with themselves, I think they raise kids that are little bit like what I've seen, like from stories like killers and psycho killers.
Yes, one thing.
It does.
It is true.
One more thing, like how they are actually picking it. through the screens, or by repetitively, imposing the mistake on that person. You're doing wrong, you're doing wrong, you're doing wrong, you're doing wrong. 100 times, if that child is listening to the same statement, he will become it. Not every person become a serial killer or a killer or anyone, or a villain. In fact, I was listening to the same thing also. No, villains are made, not
born.
right?
That's
So
what
they
I
are
meant.
made.
Yeah, I meant.
Preparing them with the same statements and the same environment, of course, they will become it. It's like an addicted. So instead of repeating those statements, push them into a confident statements. Affirm properly. Keep affirming these sentences before bed. It's a ritual, it's a practice for me and my son every day, or even while I'm actually taking him to the school on during the travel or bringing back from the school. During that phase of 5-10 minutes, I do some of the other activities with him. Oral activities, reversing the numbers, affirmations, a lot of things. I keep asking open questions. Not the one question immediately, how was your school? No, that is not the question to ask. That's not the question to ask. Just openly ask it. How do you ask it? Like, which friend did you like? What is that friend who sit with you to draw the colors? Or which ma'am actually took to the dance environment? Open that question and ask your child to answer it. Don't generalize your question. How was your school? What did you do in the school?
Then it look like
This
it's
will
forced.
not help. Yes, the child will also not answer. Go deep and ask 1 or 2 questions, not stimulate their brain, and let them enjoy. Thank you, bacha. Thank you for finishing your school. I'm happy you're back. Show that love. Come back with that affirming sentences. I'm so proud. My son is very happy today. I'm very confident about it. Use these very good sentences in front of them. It'll give that confidence booster. I'm also a human being. Many questions keep coming. Do not shout. Yes, I'm a human being. You are a parenting educator. You do this, you do that. These questions keep coming in. Yes, but we know how to regulate it, how to answer it, how to utilize these questions to a normal, balancing lifestyle. So I do that. I also ask. Yes, sorry. Elders should not ask sorry. No, it's not.
I have one question because you spoke about sorry. How important is it for parents also to apologize if they're wrong?
Very much it is important. We are human beings, and the parents
Thank
are
God.
also human beings, and the child is learning from you. What if the child is learning from you? If the child is committing a mistake and not apologizing to others, we cannot force them. Tell sorry, you did something, you should ask sorry. What if the child is learning through the parents or the elders who are apologizing if they're making a mistake, and the child is immediately saying, should ask sorry beta? Yes, I'm sorry auntie, I'll not do this next time.
I think older generations find it very difficult to apologize.
That's
no, also
okay.
because I think they're trained that way.
This is not a criminal activity. Apologizing, nothing bad in it. If you are committing mistake, please do ask sorry. That's
How
it.
do you teach parents to know that they're committing a mistake?
Anyone commits mistakes, they understand, but to cover up, they say, I am at the right place, I am in the right path, I don't want to do this. But they should ask question themselves that am I doing right in front of my child and what my child is picking up. That ego layer has to be removed in certain areas, not every area. I mean, if you are not even committing mistake, go and ask apologies. I'm not telling that. If you're making some mistakes, and yes, about this, the behavior, if your child is committing a mistake, do not shout or or teach back your child or correct your child in front of them. Take your child back home or in the private area. Please teach them there. Praise in the public, teach them in the private. That will boost their confidence, and it increases the self-esteem as well. And that's how they also listen to you. Yes, I'm on the right path. If I'm making a mistake, yes, I have to be corrected. Everything starts from the roots. If the child is already grown, if you are dealing with the adolescent, is totally different from the toddler.
Correct.
So if you are talking same to a toddler and the adolescent, toddler may agree and the adolescent Okay, it's okay, you can do anything, whatever you want. So we should understand how to talk to them also. So right from the childhood, we need to correct wherever it is required. We need to teach wherever it is required.
Correct. Is it okay for children to not? I mean, of course, see, everybody loves their parents, but is it okay for children not like their parents on certain days, and vice versa?
Thing is, each and every child has their own world also, right? So we should allow them to play. We should allow them to do whatever they want, but discipline is also important there. So we say that. It's like, is it not allowed? There's one client of me. She has a twin. After couple of years, she got, after 17 years, I would say, they got twins, and the tall was totally different, and she was healed, and she's learning so many things. And she keeps saying, like, my second bacha girl, she's not listening to me, and when she's playing alone, when I'm playing with her, she's not playing with me. There's no mandatory that the child has to play with you. Let her play, let her be independent. Enjoy the process. She's becoming independent, not to be becoming dependent on you. It's not about they don't like it. Children always like parents, parents always like kids.
Yeah.
It's not like we should be together 24/7 bonding with us. They should be with us, listen to only us, whatever we tell them.
Also, you were talking about social media and maybe like the digital post COVID, it became too much for children, because personally for me also, like, I need to see something or watch something while I'm eating, and it became a lot during COVID. And I think for my parents also, like, they want to watch something. So what is that one advice that you give to young parents, because now they have seen this trend going on, like watching Coco Melon and all these videos while eating or maybe while feeding them. What is that one tip that you give to parents so that they can avoid being in front of the screens, because the children, they are they also see, like, that child, he gets a screen every day, why don't I get it? So
Right. So one advice is always all about, raising a healthy, developed child. So we want a healthier child, and for that, the parents also has to agree that they need to follow certain criteria and need to understand the modern age parenting styles. And I always tell that, as a couple, please attend these kind of seminars, because it's a new age parenting styles that they need to understand. And many questions also are raised. Parenting koi seekhta hai? Yes. In this age era, everything, they need to understand what needs to be fixed, what they need to understand, where they need to fix their behaviors.
Correct.
What is the role of a mother? What is the role of a father? What is the role as together raising a child? So in these things, they understand how screens to be managed, how are screens to be managed, how the child has to raise in the nourishing environment. It's just about 5-10 minutes of the videos or sessions, or a half an hour of a sessions. They need to sit and watch or listen. They can just make their parenting journey very peaceful and easier. Nothing is difficult. One statement I keep saying for all of them, work more on yourself than your child. It will be very easy for you to fix anything. Work on yourself. What does it mean? So working on your self-care, working on your mindset, how I can deal with this. When it is triggering, too triggering, how to not react and respond. So a lot of small aspects we tend to forget. Even though if we
Yeah.
know it, we forget it. These things helps them understand very well how can I be very easier and peaceful with my journey.
Correct. Should parents aim to be trusted or loved?
Both, right?
But what if you had to choose one?
Of course,
Or maybe something more than the other?
mutual trust is very important. Love is also important. Without any trust, no bonding grows.
No, like as a parent, are you looking like that child should trust me more or should love me more?
Trust me more first. Automatically love comes in.
I have one question. When a parent says कि हम तो तुम्हारा भला ही सोचेंगे, हम थोड़ी ना कभी बुरा सोचेंगे, but that statement is still hurting. No, whatever's happened, and then that statement comes in कि we'll always do the right for you. which is true. I agree. But what happened previously to that has still hurt me. How do you deal with that
These
situation?
scenarios comes in where the child is wanting to go to some the field of studies or something. Then it's just a scenario adding here. The child wants to do something and the parents are not agreeing to it. So this is what one bridge gap comes here. To all the parents here, the same thing we keep saying, let them follow the passion. Do not force anyone on the world. They do have their sole purpose. Fulfill that. You are not meeting your unmet needs in your child.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That happens quite often, I think. Yeah, which is why I think that's what I meant when like statements like these, I think they trigger the child a little bit because
To be
again
used,
counter.
to
Yeah.
be used, not overused. Anything and everything in excess, of course, it's a poison.
No,
But
absolutely. I completely agree. I just feel like statements like this, firstly, always have a counter.
yes,
It's just that children don't speak up because what do you tell after they've, like said a statement like that? You can't really say much. Even if you can, it's not right to say much, right?
very much.
So, yeah, I feel like you said, I don't think these should be used
Over
in a
often,
way that
yes.
you're putting yourself in a way that, you're always right. I feel like parents, elders can also make mistakes. And I think apologizing for them is just the right step to take.
True. They need to agree also. And they
Yeah.
also need to sit and understand or communicate each other.
Yeah.
So, what exactly is in your child's mind? We need to sit and ask what exactly you want. How can we help you? So, I just can remember one story of some community session. I don't even remember too much. The child, I mean, not a child, adolescent, wants to change their gender. But the mama, she is not ready, but the child is not ready. So it's all about the soul connection.
Yeah.
What that mother is need to learn and raise herself now, and what she need to be ready with. It's not easy for anyone to agree, right? So, but yes, there's a lesson for that person.
Absolutely. I think it's a two-way street. Like you said, children also teach a lot to their parents. For example, like I am, like, let's say Gen Z and my mom's a generation above. There are a lot of things that don't come naturally to
Exactly.
parents from the other generation. So that is something I convey to my
And
mom.
one more thing I add is do not compare child to child, mother to mother. Each
Also
and
generation to
everyone,
generation.
exactly. There
I feel
is
like
a
हमारे
lot of
जमाने में ये होता था तुम लोग भी तो कर पाते हो. I don't think that's
yes.
valid because
lot of uniqueness is there in every generation or
Every
every
generation.
mothers or parents or children.
and even society for that matter, like the society back then, I'm sure it's the same people around you, but it's different. You cannot compare कि हमारे में तो ऐसा नहीं होता था. I agree, but it's not the same
It's
now.
a false statement. It used to happen, that doesn't remember it. It's a generalized statement they keep posting everywhere. It used to happen, I was doing, hota ta, everything there. Everything is there. But they need to understand this generation is different from their generation.
Exactly.
I also feel it is also with emotions, like a way that a child or maybe like a teenager can feel about a certain things, maybe the parent would not. Maybe like uh, like failing an exam, for an example, is a very big thing, for parents, but you don't know what's going behind like a teenager's mind. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, no, for
Lot
sure.
of viralities are happening because of not proper support the child. The child actually failed in an exam and child committed a suicide because the parents were hovering on them. The child was not able to pick up or manage that the
Pressure.
mental state and the pressure, and child committed there's no threat for the life for anything.
Absolutely
That's just
no.
an exam. And why are they behaving like they're passing something in the life? They can be very good and very excel in some other field. Why can't they actually see that area?
Absolutely.
The parents really want to understand. Doesn't matter academics. Okay, I'm giving you a certificate. What will you give me? Will you give me lakhs and lakhs now right away with that certificate?
No.
Nothing I can get through my certificate. If I keep roaming with my certificate, I'm not getting lakhs and crores of my business. People without the proper academics, I would say, they're earning crores and tons and tons.
Absolutely. I feel like
There's
education
a lot
is
of different kinds
overhyped.
of businesses people are making, and that's all about.
I feel it's overhyped, but like a basic education
No, I completely agree. I
should
feel
be
like
there.
basic education should be there, but I don't think the education should be
Over
tested with marks.
marks. Yeah. Oh my
You know,
god.
like
yeah.
for example, I know my basics, right? I know all my subjects, and for example, I don't know history that much. I used to hate history as a subject, but that is not going to prove the kind of person I am,
Exactly,
right?
my friend.
If
One
I
of
know
my
my
friend used to
basic,
say,
yeah,
I was the backbencher, and the front bencher is doing nothing, and I'm having my good business. I'm doing everything.
yeah, and I don't even think it's comparing with others. I feel like basic knowledge, you have it,
Yes.
which is great. You don't need to prove it, because I feel like I can be someone who's great at practical knowledge.
Very true.
I cannot memorize
So, are
words
you
and put it
able to
down.
socialize? Are you able to make yourself better every day? Are you visible? Are you doing something that matters most?
I actually failed in my ninth maths exam, but then I did very well in my 10th, and I did very nice in my 12th and 11th. And I'm not like dissing on anyone, but there was a lot of pressure because the relatives and a lot of people
Yeah,
talking.
definitely.
And I took a field, like I took medical, in which I was not interested. But I had to take it because there was pressure on me. But now I'm fine because I've made them understand how
Yeah.
to make things
I
work.
feel like a lot of knowledge that comes in it stays with you. Like there are certain days where you use your logical brain, right? You know, like for example, if you have to cut something, your physics part that you would have learned in 7th grade is coming in play now, and you don't realize it, right? So I think, like I said, I don't think marks can show how much knowledge you have. And I was a horrible student. I got great marks in 10th, but that is only because I had to study. I had no option, because at that time those marks actually mattered. There was no pressure as such, but I don't think I was great at mugging up. I've never been someone who can mug up. I was always someone who needs to understand, even if it's
Right.
English, if it's history, if it's subject you cannot even understand. I would want to understand it before I go and
Right.
write an exam, because without understanding I cannot function. I need logic behind everything I do. I'm very of a why person, like why this, why that. So you can't really test that with, you know,
Marks and all the time. Yes. So to append to this, back then we used to not have counselors, academic counselors and all that. Now what we have, the counselors are there, and what you need to choose after your 10th, what you need to choose after your 12th. So what are the options which is available for you to go? It's not only in the path of academics. There are wide variety of options in the world that you can choose and make yourself better in any field what you like. Choose your passion, grow in that area, become the very good. And to be honest, our coach, who is a flunked in 12th grade, he keeps telling the same thing every time. So he has built a multi-crore business now.
yeah.
Doesn't matter, people are following, and there are 30,000-40,000 people in his community. People are learning.
Where do you think parents cross a line between being too strict or too lenient?
So yes, when the child is asking something, immediately giving up. Instead of from yes or to no, from no to yes. I'm saying no now, and my husband, my partner is saying yes. That will be mismatching. So from no, I'm not giving, no, I'm not giving. Suddenly, when the tantrums are increased, and I'm converting that no to yes. That is actually a false setting boundary. We should be firm. Do whatever you're creating. Do follow the rule, whatever you're created. Stick to that no. And don't be too loose. Don't be too harsh. And you understand, right? So the balance when the child is actually completely emotionally settled, but doesn't mean that you need to give in. But yes, you need to sit with them. The melt actually slows down. Talk to them, and then slowly create that patch. Okay, now I'm not giving this. Don't use no. Yes, I will be giving it to you, but when you finish this, redirection happens there. I need to redirect to the proper activity,
Correct.
reinforcing it.
Also, do you think, like, imagine a child has been pampered since like day one, can like a coach or someone can change the behavioral patterns of that child? Because
Too pampered child.
too much, because imagine like a child, I don't know how to explain pamperedness, but
Will you agree for the too pampered child? Will the rules or boundaries are set to them?
I don't think so.
no, that's what I
Never.
they will never
Ever. It's very difficulty for any person. If the child is too pampered, there is no discipline, no structure is
Yeah.
imposed on that particular behavior of the child. Child, when suddenly on one day when you're asking do this, without that, if you are hovering or if you are yelling, shouting on them, the mentally he or she is getting abused. I'm like, what? I cannot feel this. It's like an yes parenting style. Similar kind of a yes parenting only. It's permissive. It's very difficult to change the behavior. Of course, the bonding is rupturing. The child is not able to understand, learn, neither learn nor do anything.
And they can't take no for an answer, and there's no routine.
No, yes, they are not ready for any no's. I want yes for everything.
Yeah. And the parents eventually have to do it, because if they don't, they're rupturing the whole mental space of and it just gets more bad.
Very true.
So, do you think, have you ever seen this kind of parenting in?
There are, because for example, if they're actually both are working parents, so much these kind of things comes in. Or if the grandparents are there in the house and if they're over pampering, because mera pota hai, mere poti hai, and I want to pamper them, I want to be with them, I want to enjoy with them. Please enjoy with them. For all the parents here, and I'm not talking about grandparents pampering, of course, very much important. Grandparents love is very much important for the nurturing of the child. For parents, set the boundaries. How much is important? Talk to your in-laws. Okay, you can give this, but on a restricted days. Okay, if you are buying an ice cream, so let's set the particular date or a time on it. You can buy it for him. Please talk to them and do not violate it. We are actually violating everything and we are itself creating that badness in them.
Correct.
So what if you just going and speaking in a normal tone instead of creating the whole messy environment? Speak to them, make them understand. Please do not do this. And for your child, for your in-laws, both, you need to speak up. Without speaking, nothing happens here. If it is a joint family, of course, you need to step up. We need to speak. We need to balance it.
Yeah.
And if nothing is working, you should actually control yourself. You make peace with yourself for certain things. You cannot do anything at that time.
As a parent,
Yes.
but isn't it hard to like?
So at that time, as I said, you need to speak up. If few things are not working, you need to make peace with yourself.
What's one parenting myth that Indian families or Indian parents should unlearn?
Learning parenting. Yes, they say. I said no. Many webinars which we conduct when we do workshops, and we keep saying, parenting koi seekhta hai. This one sentence, very much important. Why are you posting parenting videos? Everyone knows that we are raising child. Yes, we are raising child. Are you raising in the right way? Do you know what are the things which should not do when it's happening? What are the 3 things which you need to know when you are raising a child? Or what are the 3 steps you need to follow when we are studying? So much comes in.
Yeah.
Everything is a topic here. Every small thing is a topic.
If you could tell the parents to be, or early age parents, one thing who are listening to you right now, what would that be?
Co-regulation is very important. Partner bonding is even majorly important. Show love for yourself. And after child doesn't mean that you need to show love to your partner. You should stop loving your partner, or you should actually go on a date or go on a ride, whatever you call it for yourself. You must have this. Work both on yourself, work on your mindset.
Mm.
Parenting is not difficulty when you learn and implement it. When you are a prepared parent, that is why we say during the pregnancy itself, learn this, how to adopt yourself during your journey. So, to make it very peaceful, be a prepared parent. When the problem arises, don't step in and sit and study, how can I manage this? So, if you are prepared already, you are easily able to manage, or you easily deal with that problem very easily. So, learn, implement, and discipline plus knowledge gives you a transformation. So, only when you learn and be disciplined here, then only you can see your transformation in entire family, yourself, your child, everywhere.
Also, like to end this on, I have one question, like a drop the filter question for you. What still motivates you to do this thing? Because obviously your child is growing, but why are you still doing this?
Passion in me is all about teaching, I said, and even now I do a lot of other things. I am a wellness expert as well. I do healing. I have been a certified healer. I use AI technologies also to heal myself. Even now I do that. I'm very happy about it. But still, when I research on the articles, sit and study books, I'm not that bookish, but something I start reading, I go through articles. I'm a more an auditory person. I keep listening while on the kitchen and all of them. So when I was reading, it gives me more pleasure inside when I speak about what I'm learning in parenting. Because when I'm a parent, when I'm learning, I'm also implementing, and I'm learning from that also again. So it brings me peace when I talk to parents and resolves their issues. And when they come back and say, "Ma'am, I literally need to thank you today. This one small fix I did, and I'm very happy about it."
Yeah.
These sentences and the feedbacks every day on a voice notes or the texts gives that happiness inside us. It keeps me moving all the time. I want to reach out throughout Karnataka, India, and together in the next world. Like, yes, you have that energy in you, have that passion in you. Take it to the next level. When you have something, when you have learned something, do not keep it inside you. Share it to others. Retention will be more higher. You are also learning when you are actually doing it.
That's a really nice and a very inspiring and good note to end this episode. How are you feeling?
Very grateful. Thank you so much for
Yeah, actually, I
having me
can
here.
see like you love to share your journey, and it was really nice to see, they're like a new, I wouldn't say generation of like parents actually working on their kids. So, yeah, and that's all for today. So, we'll see you next Friday.